tattoos. When I was squad members, I can't act cool. Hey, yo, this your beat? Nothing lasts forever, I don't got tattoos. I lost squad members, I can't act cool. I like my bitches short and thick and I ain't gotta act rude. She won't treat me like I'm the rest, cause I ain't that dude. I see something and there's a child that change my thoughts forever. Try to do right, I'm on the ass and I won't fucking let up. Hit from the side, bitch, don't be lazy, lift your fucking leg up. To all my niggas going through a struggle, keep your fucking head up. Anything you going through, I'm a witness, it won't last forever. Just stay down and hold your side, don't change up like the weather. If he around me, then he got a ruler, but he ain't trying to measure. I got it in here, me some weed to get my thoughts together. Hard in the summer, but my heart cold, so I got a rock sweater. We came in this roll it on, so we ain't gonna leave out together. I know I'm blessed, I know my worth, so I can never settle. You can't show yourself for you, only time can tell you. Yeah, you one time to fuck up, and you can't go here. Whoa, dear, I got too many stuff to bring a pole here. No deal, I won't set my soul ain't high and go here. I won't school and stay loyal to my niggas and my face stick to the cold here. It's a new 40 on my shirt, the bitch a blow here. It's a different dope inside the blunt, we getting lows in. Smoking on some dope cause the country got it. Choking, treat the bitch like a receiver, put that bitch in motion. I'm drinking on some shit that change a mood, we call it potion. Can't even hide the 30 in the clip, baby, poking. And up all them beans, we got some smoke and get it going. White girl playing with her, no lens and no hand. My little cousin slipped up and lost her baby, she was 16. Ain't doing shit for free, I want 200 for a 16. Glock with a dick and 30 club with a red beam. She make it hard for me cause all that nigga sold a big dream. Don't lose on thug behind no shit you saying that you ain't me. All my niggas slide, you know what's up, bitch, you can't play me. I see the picture clear, my life a movie like it's HD. I'm on 50K screens and I ain't got no post on say cheese. Like a little whipping when I up it, better say cheese. This life taught me some lessons, fuck the school, I want no degree. I'm just trying to take care of my people, how you hate me. When a nigga got caught with that elite, the shit was crazy. Bitch, the trap baby shit don't do that.
Yo. What's good, everybody? I want to thank you guys for joining us for another episode of the Get Hooked podcast. Here we are with episode number 53. As always, week to week, this is your boy Hook.
And your favorite DMV new native. I ain't coming back. Crystal.
Nigga go on vacation, doesn't know how to act.
Yeah, terrible. And that man say a Harlem night. Hey, baby, let's speak to your daddy.
I ain't never coming home again, right?
I ain't never come home again.
All right, man. So as you guys can see via the ticker at the bottom, today we're going to be giving our thoughts on Sha'Carri Richardson, who, along with Shelly Allen Fraser Page from Jamaica, were the two of the odds-on favorites to take home the gold medal in the women's 100-meter, right? In the Tokyo Games here coming up, and she's no longer going to be able to run because she tested positive for something that is now legal in 18 of these here United States: marijuana, weed, kush, whatever euphemism you want to use. So it's and there are a lot of varying opinions. Some people think the punishment was too harsh. Some think it was just right. And believe it or not, there are a few people who think that she wasn't punished enough. But we're going to talk about it. We're going to discuss it. But Chris, what are your thoughts on it?
Oh, child, you want my blood pressure to go up, and I'm in my happy place. So to be honest, it bothers me. I mean, I understand that rules are rules. I understand that if you break a rule, you have to be punished. But I also understand that if a man takes his wife on the steps of the State House grounds on a Sunday, he can beat her ass and he don't go to jail. That's a rule. But is it right or wrong? So, I'm saying that there are rules, there are different things that are set, there are different things that are in place. That does not necessarily mean they are right or they are fair. That just means that they're there. It is very ironic that when they're talking about what she got busted for, what she tested positive for, they don't acknowledge that she also had a life moment at that time. You can't tell me my mama's dead as a reporter and think I can process that well. But it goes back on her, growing up. How did you teach people how to process hard things like that? How are you training these kids? Because we are putting these kids with great talents in a lot of hard situations. Are they prepared for life when it comes at them? And this ain't her first time. She ain't just be like, you know what? When I'm at the top of my game, let me smoke. She been smoking. Call it what it is. So when did we have that conversation with her that you got to cope different? You got to move different. New levels, new devils. The blame game lies in a lot of places, but my opinion is let the child run. Y'all let Mike Tyson beat women and fight.
And the thing of it is though is from the outside looking in, it's easy to say that she was dumb or she made a mistake or what have you, but that people smoke for different reasons. I'm not a smoker, so I don't know, but I'm not gonna I don't admonish it either. And I think a couple things that we need to take into consideration, and this is per the World Anti-Doping Agency. There are really three things that determine if something for banned substances. One, is it a health risk? All right, and remember, this is weed we're talking about now. One, is it a health risk? Two, does it enhance your performance? And three, does it violate the spirit of the sport? I can't decide if weed does any of those three things, but I'm sure we'll get into it here in a second. But we have some guests here who are going to give us their thoughts and opinions. So y'all go ahead and take it away, man. Tell the people who you are.
What's going on, everybody? Coach Proctor, known around City of Columbia as Coach CP. I'm a high school coach around here, and also the coach of the Trust the Process Track Club, newly crowned All-American. So appreciate y'all having me on here.
Yes, sir.
All right, I'm Jeremy Lane, or Coach Lane. I'm the head track coach at Lugard Elgin High School. Also coach football. I'm also a minister at my church. And I appreciate y'all for having me on. So I'll give a little bit different perspective. Also, congrats to my boy CP on his newly crowned title. He definitely works hard, and he's definitely a vet in the game. So I want to give him congrats when I can out here on public platform as well.
All right, good stuff. Yes, sir. All right, Sean, what you got?
Going on, y'all? What's up? This is Sean with a C, so you can't forget it. Mr. Pop Soul out here in these streets. I am one half of an R&B duo named Vibe, coming to you live right now from New York City. I'm doing a little bit of traveling right now. Got some music coming. Some music videos just came out. Check out the Amber music video, Another Night with Amber.com. And Chris, thank you for having me once again. I'm excited. Everybody has been talking about Sha'Carri for a long time. And so to have all of these conversations, I think it's really important for us to rally around her as a community, and also just discuss how we can ensure that things like this don't necessarily happen again. We give these incredible platforms to these women and to these athletes, and we want to make sure that when they're blessed with these platforms, that we don't tear them down for being human. We find out that people are human and we tear them down and we try to cancel them, and cancel culture sneaks in. And so just having a conversation about how we can mitigate all of that, I think is really important.
Absolutely, and we have a fourth guest, Dill, but she's got an Android, so we're going to excuse her.
What you're not gonna do is handle my sister.
Difficulties.
She's been having difficulties ever since we first came on. So hopefully her Android allows her to join us, because I think she's going to bring a lot of great conversation, a lot of great topics as well. So we'll go ahead and get started, man. But first, for the viewers, make sure you guys react, make sure you share, make sure you comment, and make sure you subscribe. So let's go ahead and get this thing cracking, man. And I want to start you guys off with a basic question. And the first question is twofold. So one, do you think that Sha'Carri should have allowed Sha'Carri to run? And two, why or why not?
All right. I'm gonna go ahead and jump this off. Hell no.
Oh Lord.
No, she should not run. And at the end of the day, it's the flat out reasoning is exactly what both of y'all said early on. It's simply because the rules are the rules. Now, do we all agree with the rule? Not at all. Not at all. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you I agree with that rule. But since it is a rule, and I'm so glad, because you did your homework. So glad you brought up WADA. You brought up the World Anti-Doping Agency, All right.
Mhm.
Now, THC is a newly classified banned substance.
Right.
So,
Right.
and so I'm fortunate enough to have a lot of friends that have ran professionally or still do coach at the collegiate level or coach professionally. And so it isn't like she didn't know that this was a banned substance, because the list is constantly updated, and you get a updated list. You, your coach, your agent, your whole team. All right. And so it's not that you went into this year and like, you know what? We legal. It's good. We can smoke it. Nah, this was on the damn list. This was on the banned list. And so the first thing people want to jump up in arms is, well, weed is legal. Nah, in your state, it's not legal in the governing body that she performs under. And so for that reason, no. And let me make sure I answer the second part. What was the second part again?
It's why. Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
that's the biggest thing. I don't necessarily agree with it, because before this was classified as a new banned substance, you had all kind of athletes out here smoking and still being able to run.
Right.
And so before I go on a tangent, I'm just cut that off and no, hell no.
And I can jump
All
in
right.
too, and I can say it a little less harshly, but no, I don't think that she should have been able to run for the same reasons. You know, the rules are the rules. You knew what the rules were, and we're not talking about what the rules should be, or should she have smoked, or what the circumstances and conditions of her life were at the time. That's not for us to debate tonight. If the conversation is, should she be allowed to run? For me, I agree. The answer is no.
And let me say this, because I know that myself and CP, we are public figures. So like our opinion has no no affiliation with any of the organizations we affiliated with. So they are our opinions. CP, we covered.
Get
Hey,
them
and
right.
then,
Hey, look.
hey, now with that being said, hey, my answer, and I called Crystal on it because I was laughing because I read her post and she was going off, and I was like,
Absolutely
see,
no reason. So wrong
I
with Crystal.
said, listen, I
Ain't nothing
said,
wrong with me. Y'all wrong.
and here was my
But I get it.
thought. I was like, she shouldn't be able to run, because like what CP said, the rules are the rules, and as coaches, we know that every day it is a fight just to get young people to follow the rules. Like, regardless of who making the rules is the rule. If you got a problem with the rules, that gets into politics and voting. You got to get the right people into place.
That's
Mhm.
right.
But the rules are the rules, and as citizens of the United States of America, you gotta follow the rules. And so my answer would be no. If she violated the rule, then no, she shouldn't be able to run. And the punishment to me was spot on with the violation, because that's what it states in the rule book. They didn't go above
I don't
and
think it was
beyond.
unfair. They didn't come for her unfairly. They
they
didn't try to make
they
an
didn't.
example out of her. It was what it was. Like, nah, sis, you can't run.
And honestly, Hook, and I'm gonna go off my tangent. I'm gonna shut up after this. And honestly, Hook, y'all people have to think about it like this: it ain't doing the United States of America no good not to let
Yes.
that girl run.
Yes,
It's
exactly.
hurting the United
Talk
States
about
of
that.
America.
Yeah. Yes.
Like, they need her to run to win.
Yes.
That's why when the NBA gets ready and they select people for the USA team, the people that are from other countries, they go play for their country. It hurts the
You're
United
exactly
States
right.
for that girl not to run. You don't think they want her to run?
Yeah.
They
Everybody
probably
was saying the
scratching
same
their
thing.
head.
Damn.
You know what I'm
If
saying?
she was a massive disappointment, it was a big like damn.
Damn.
Like why?
Crystal, I got a question, Crystal.
Okay.
You seem to be a very
Call her out.
sensible woman.
Right.
Your cousin Ray working at Amazon right now. It clearly stated in the bylaws, you cannot, if you take a box out of Amazon, you fired. Ray got to move. Ray took some boxes. They fired Ray. You gonna get on Facebook and say, man, they did my cousin dirty. They shouldn't have fired him over no boxes.
So let me tell you when I'm gonna get on Ray's case. Let me tell you what I'm gonna back Ray. When they have a rules that says you can smoke it during this time, but you can't do it during this one, because they have different situations.
Crystal, no, ma'am, that is not what I just asked you. You are not going
It depends on Ray. Because I will tell you this too. If they won't bother Ray, but if Ray ran track for Northeast, no pun intended, Northeast, that's where I went. They're not going to bother Ray about it. But since Ray worked for Amazon in DC, now it's when they ask how my opinion was. Now rules are rules. My child may not be able to go out. Your child may be able to. Rules are rules in your house, and rules are rules in my house. You got to follow the rules of where you play. I get it. But do I think your child should run? Hell yeah, let her run. You let a lot of others do other stuff. Does that change the rules? No. I mean, some people.
It does change the rule though, because then the conversation: do we throw the rule out? Do we just throw the rule out though? Is that the conversation?
So and I think one major thing as well, what a lot of people started doing immediately is they went to the whole Michael Phelps situation, and I didn't do a deep dive on that. I did some background. From what I understood, he was suspended, but when he did it just so happened that it wasn't around the time when he was about to go to the Olympics. You know what I'm saying? So he didn't get that much love, right?
And that's the perfect reason why. Like, and I'm seeing that, and everybody, I'm like, and the big reason why they want to use the Michael Phelps stuff, it ain't got nothing to do with Michael Phelps and swimming. It's because of this. That's what they were trying to do.
It's black and white. It's really black and white.
And the reason that they couldn't use it is just like Hook just said. The man was dealt his suspension way in advance to where he could come back and swim. Guess what? She got caught a month and a half.
She got caught too soon. She got caught.
And she did that the worst time. The reason that it was reduced was because once she got hit, it wasn't a performance-enhancing drug. So she was hit with a 3-month daggone suspension. She was able to get that reduced for doing whatever it is. They reduced her to a month. All right. And that's when it came out. Okay, she could run the relay. Then everybody, if she can run the relay, why can't she run the 100? Well, the relay was a week after the starting round of the 100.
And
that's why.
And the reason why the folks didn't pick her to run the relay is because everybody was making a big deal about why she couldn't run the 100 and run the relay. They wanted the baby to run the relay, but because everybody got on the internet and started blasting USA and all of that stuff, and now the people was like, well, we can't even let her do that now because y'all didn't ruin that.
The internet is crazy powerful.
No idea about track. They couldn't even tell you.
Yeah.
They couldn't even tell you the lap around is 400 meters. They don't know nothing about track, but they see a young black girl getting punished.
And she has a situation.
They see a young black girl getting punished, and they go jump off a daggone bridge, and it's like, baby, please do your homework. Y'all out here looking
and stop.
But I mean, so go back on some stuff, and this is where mine came from. Mine wasn't track rules. My opinion came from. So, and that's the case. Michael Vick knew that them damn dogs was in that house, so we all backing him. So my thing was, we jump on people and go, you should have this rule. Rules are rules because laws are laws. Mm-hmm. So we follow.
We all didn't back Vic. It's some pit bull lovers that.
I was about to say, Crystal, if you defend OJ next, we're gonna have a real conversation.
And that's the bad part about. I thought OJ should have been locked up 3 times. But you got people out there going, well, OJ was in it. OJ did it. Let's call it what it was.
I can't believe you taking this. I can't believe you taking it there. Right?
I'm taking it there because I'm saying that we jumped all over this situation in a way as if this girl committed something major. Not saying that I get it. My opinion, let her run. But I agree with the rules. You cannot break the rules and run. So she's not going to. And I get that. But the way people jumped all over this case, you would thought she fought dogs or she killed somebody. She smoked. She got to sit down. It is
Dale, you got that Dale, you got the iPhone now? Which phone you on right now?
That's irrelevant. See what happened? My friends are calling me, and it kind of just knocked me off. So I just couldn't get back in. But yes,
I bet you on an iPhone, don't you?
I'm on an iPhone.
Yeah, baby.
All right, so Dale, and everyone else has already answered. So I want to ask you. So the question I have is a 2-parter. 1, do you think they should have let Sha'Carri run? And 2, why or why not?
Well, no. Sha'Carri, I'm a huge Sha'Carri Richardson fan, but Sha'Carri cannot run because at the end of the day, the rules are the rules. That is her profession right now. If you violate your rules of your profession, then no, you can't compete.
You're going to get it.
That's it.
I'm glad we can agree on that.
lover, would have loved to see her whoop up on Shelly Ann Frazier and Elaine Thompson and Sharika. Would love to see that, but the rules are the rules. You knew the rules going into this. That is your profession. You need to take it seriously.
Absolutely.
And I do understand another aspect of this. I understand she's going through a lot. And for some people, they consider weed to be, oh, it's nothing. And the controversy starts when you have weed legal in certain countries, in certain states. So for some people who are not track athletes or who do not follow the sport, they think it's no big deal. Oh, she just smoked weed. But that weed is right there on the banned list. So unfortunately, Sha'Carri can't compete.
She out of it.
Sorry.
Dale,
Definitely.
you're in a group,
And I
wanted you to mention that. Dale, you're in a group with former Olympians, right?
Yes, I'm in the group with former Olympians, and they're all basically saying the same thing. The rules are the rules, and although some of them are saying, oh, it's just weed, but for some people, they think that weed is a performing enhancing drug because it helps her to relax. However, I think they need to do a little bit more research before they make that claim. Now, it's banned for a reason. It's not like it's just being banned, but it's been banned since since they started this. So that's just my opinion.
And even if you look further into the rules, it's not just banned for the United States. It's banned across the whole Olympic.
Yes.
The whole thing.
The whole Olympic spectrum.
Exactly.
Because when you get that packet and you read that packet, I don't care if you live in a place where it's legal across in your whole country. It's banned from the Olympics.
Yeah.
So I don't know about all the testing that happens when they have to get ready to go to it, but I'm pretty sure everybody has to go through some type of test and all of that to make sure, because it's a big deal. You talking about the best of the best of the best.
And you know the history a little bit more than I do, but I guess marijuana was put on this list in 2004, if I'm not mistaken, somewhere around there, because marijuana can mask the use of performance enhancing drugs, right?
Yeah, and I think that was the reason why. Yeah.
And so if we're gonna have a conversation about why weed is on this list, if people that have never gone to a track meet a day in their life, if they really want to have the conversation, then the conversation is there to be had. But it's not that. It's just let this girl run. Oh, it's just weed. So it's like we can't just it's like if we're really gonna be serious about this and uphold the integrity of the Olympics, then yes, we can't just.
But you're going to get a million different opinions, and that's kind of why I pulled all of y'all in. I pulled them in because they're coaches, and I knew that coaches have a different view because me and Jeremy had a conversation. I put Dale in because Dale's a collegiate runner, but she also has a child who is all eyes on me. They watch her, and she knows about it because she sees it, and she knows that she has a young daughter, so she knows how young people handle their emotions. Sean and I are spectators. We're going to have a different opinion. I'm not going to hold the rules. I'm going to say it ain't that big a deal. Let her do it. And then I'm going to say, why y'all making such a big deal of it? Because you ran around and felt XYZ way about all these different people. But, I mean, we made a big deal. I see it about murder. I see it about the fighting dogs. I see it about something. But the way that we went off about this, I mean, why is it a big old deal? But it went the roof with it.
Right. I think the thing is, though, I think it was more so the timing, because just 2 weeks before, that's when everyone, that's when she won. That's when she, qualified to go to Tokyo. And that's when, everybody was all, a lot of people who won't even follow track, they know Sha'Carri, but they don't know any other track athletes. But, because of her, and she was the biggest name at the time, they made it a big deal about it.
Exactly.
And that's
exactly. I think it was just the timing of it all. Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah, definitely. And we got a couple comments I wanted to get to real quick. The first one is from Tina. She says it may be a good thing for the suspension. Reason being is it could prove as an eye opener and wake up call for her. It could save her from making future mistakes. It could help her to get back on track and stay on track, perhaps. And I think for me that was really the biggest thing, because the girl is 21 years old. And the lady from Jamaica she's going up against, she's 34. So she's got a long career ahead of her. This may, hopefully she comes out of this a better person. But I think this is going to be a lesson learned. Hopefully she doesn't make it again.
Sorry, I have to call. I have to call it on that. I think it. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. I mean,
no, go ahead.
I don't think her smoking weed has taken.
Oh, Dell's thing dropped.
That damn Android.
She got that flip phone
I
over
have
there.
to call it. I think so. Maybe she'll learn from her mistakes. Smoking weed ain't a mistake. Number one, she's gonna continue smoking weed. The mistake was getting caught, and that's a mistake she may be able to learn from. If we're really gonna talk about it, she's gonna smoke. For me personally, now if we're gonna bring in the conditions of her life, if my mama died, God forbid, I'd be smoking crack. So y'all would have to be looking for me in a different kind of way. So I can understand her having to cope or whatever she want to do. I can understand that. I can't look at this and say, "Oh, she made a mistake by smoking that joint." No, she made a mistake.
It was
by the timing getting caught.
It was a conscious decision. It was a
Yeah, I
conscious
agree. I don't think
decision.
it's going
And
to hinder
she's
her
suffering the
any of the
consequences
future
from
track
it now.
meets she has.
But it's
right.
My biggest issue is we just wanted to jump on something to be mad about. And
Thank
there's
you.
so many other things that came out of the
Thank
games that we could have been mad about. There's like the hurdler that they said she got hit with a banned substance that ended up coming out. It kind of came from an abortion. Let's be mad about that. Something that this young lady couldn't, that she might not have been able to it wasn't her fault. Now it's another. We got a high jumper that was left at home because that qualified because the United States did not want to take her. She didn't get hit with no banned substance. She didn't lose. She was in the top 3. She has an Olympic qualifying standard, and she was left home. Let's be mad about that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
not
I agree.
Not about a child smoking weed, getting caught, and getting penalized for it.
And that's what I was telling Krista. I was like,
but I think that we have a bigger issue than that one. What we're not looking at, even with her doing what she did, is these kids can't cope with a lot of these situations, and we're not sure. So in this way, this ain't her first rodeo. Let's be clear. This is not that child's first rodeo. She didn't just
first rodeo doing what? I'm sorry. Can you clarify?
This ain't her first time smoking.
She ain't her first time smoking weed.
No,
and
right.
She's not gonna stop. And
No.
clearly she's using it as a coping mechanism. So
how can you project? How can you get to that? How can you say that?
Yeah. Why are you saying she's coping? How you think she worked? How you think?
Do it? She just did it to do it, or they just adding the whole mama dying to
She's
it.
a smoker. She smokes weed.
At the wrong time. Personally, me, I think
she smokes weed.
I think it's something that she's always done.
Right. She didn't pick up weed because her mom died. She was a smoker.
So let me say something. So here's the deal. So you have this situation, you have 2 different types of smokers. You have people that have been smoking their whole life that will smoke by themselves, and they'll just smoke the smoke. You know what I'm saying? And then you have people that also smoke socially, right? Either way it goes, either she was smoking socially with her friends and nobody said, "Hey, baby, we might not need to do that," or she been smoking the whole time and she just went to go smoke again. You know what I'm saying?
That's the conversation. That's it.
You know, and so let's be real about it. I don't know. I mean, listen, I don't smoke, but I got some people I know that smoke. But I know people that smoke. I know people that smoking a whole lot.
I smoke. I came out here to get in the spirit, so you know. So I'm here. That's your cannabis.
I don't smoke at all. But my question is, if you know, so like Dale, your daughter, it is no question that your daughter could get to this level. These things can happen. But at what point are we having a conversation with these kids that say, when you get here, you can't do that same dumb shit you did when you were there?
Chris, you know when that conversation is had, I'm having that conversation with her as a sophomore.
Now.
I had that conversation with her when she was a freshman and a sophomore, and I said, "Hey, I know your mama, and if I catch you doing something wrong, I'm gonna tell your mama, and she gonna bust that behind."
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so we had that conversation with her when she was in high school. Don't be dumb. Don't do that kind of stuff. You can't afford that.
No,
but guess what? Guess what the world is doing right now?
No.
Yeah, the world is doing right
it's
now.
It's a conversation that needs to be had because clearly.
Guess what? This has been a high-profile athlete since she has been a teenager. Guarantee you, she has had plenty of people in her corner, regardless of what her family background is. She has had plenty of people in her corner. She had to get her ass to LSU. I guarantee you, there was somebody that was guide her to that point. When she got to LSU, the coach
with her situation here, no matter how we look at it, based off this, for lack of better terms, you just got a high class fuck up because this is not gonna stop. but it didn't just start.
No, of course.
Yeah.
And I want to be right, and I want to be clear. And I want to be clear when I say that she made a mistake earlier. I'm not saying that smoking weed was a mistake, because I mean that's what she wanted to do. That's what she does. But
So
what
what
I
did you
will
do?
say, the mistake was smoking weed at the time that she did. She already
Okay,
knew the
boom.
rules. She knew it was a banned substance. She knew she was about to go to Tokyo.
She knew
She
the
already
risk.
knew it was a bad.
She knew the risk.
So the risk. So if it's me, because I'm not a heavy drinker, but I drink. But I'm not about to sit here and drink a case of beer if I'm about to take a 6-hour road trip, in a couple hours. To me, it simply doesn't make sense. If I know the risk of me getting on the road, impaired, she already knew the risk. But the thing is, she, for whatever reason, she made that
So her
conscious
story
decision to
has
do
been
it,
painted
and now she's suffering
incorrectly.
for it.
And her story's
no.
been painted correctly, because what's going out is that you got people going with let her run, because in the midst of finding out she can't run because she got high, you're also hearing, well, the reporter told her that her mom passed away, her biological
Whoa.
mom. So
But
you're
listen,
getting all these different
y'all
things.
hear what
People
that?
are
Y'all hear
formulating their own
the key
opinions.
word with that? Yeah, the key word when they said that is biological mom.
Oh.
That to me tells me
Your
that
mama
shit
didn't raise you.
crop. Your mama ain't raised you. You
What
know,
does that have
like,
to
'cause
do with the
if you
price of
refer
tea
to
in China?
but when she found out her mom died, everybody was like, "Oh, her biological mom died," and I'm like, "Well,
Right.
if it was me and I was a high profile athlete and my mom died, they're gonna be like, oh, his mom died. Like, my mama raised me. You get what I'm saying? And I think I think people found out that bit of information to try to justify why they were upset.
Right,
I'm
why
like,
they were upset, and that's one thing that I don't want.
That wasn't the case. Now, after she had won the 100 and she was being interviewed, she let all of this out. So it wasn't that a reporter released this information. Sha'Carri released it while she was being interviewed after she won the 100.
oh,
A few
gotcha.
days after
No, she
that,
found out prior to that interview.
right. Yeah, that's what I'm saying though. It's not that a reporter put this out. She said this during a live interview. Right?
Oh, she released that information.
Yeah. It wasn't,
I missed it.
that somebody else.
So I didn't know that, because the reports
Right.
were saying. So here's what the reports are coming out saying. They saying that a reporter
Nah.
told her during an interview
No,
that
she
her biological
said the reporter
mother
told her.
died.
Nah. She said it to the reporter doing it live. Right after she won the 100, she ran upstairs. She gave her grandmother a big hug, which was a beautiful scene. It was amazing. She came back out of the stands. She sat down with the sports reporter. They did their post race interview.
I missed that part.
That's when she had spoke about. That's when she had spoke about. Her grandmother raising her. She spoke about losing her biological mother. Like, what was it, days or weeks prior to the event, and people just not knowing what she went through.
Now, see, that's a different beast, because that story's painted totally different. It looks, the way it came out was like she found out about her mom dying from her.
See,
she told
but
she
see,
could have very well found out.
But you know why the picture?
We don't know when she found out
that way.
No,
the
CP
picture
was
is painted.
saying
The picture is painted that way because we just need something to be mad about. Nobody's going back and doing their damn homework, and that is the problem. Nobody is going back and doing the homework. They're seeing one headline and they running with it. And they run with it, and then they partner don't do no research, and they partner don't do no research, and then you got a whole community jumping off the daggone bridge with false information.
So the reporter, the
reporter, she did find out from a reporter. She didn't speak about it until after she won the 100. So she wanted to basically, I guess, stay focused for this event. Now, this is from some of the Olympians who've been at this meet. They said that, when she was in Oregon or prior to coming to this event, a reporter allegedly told her mother had passed away. So we don't really know if that's true. Sha'Carri has not confirmed that. Only thing Sha'Carri did was speak on it. She just said, yes, I just lost my mother.
Well, because CP makes sense with that, because what happens is that when you come out here and you shooting out facts and situations, people are putting, but I can manipulate stuff on purpose if I want to. I can go out here and say, Crystal went outside and slapped 13 people. And then another story can come out and say, well, when she, before that, she had just found out that her car drove into the river. When you put both of them out there, you don't know if that's why I did it. I may not have known that it went into the river. But if you're putting them both out there at the same time and you're shooting it out there, it's going to look like I did this for this reason, which is for those of us who are spectators. That's what it looked like. It looked like this child found out her mama died, her biological mama, which to some people, they're like, well, why does that matter? Well, if I ain't got no relationship with somebody and then you come out and tell me that I don't know what's going on and you tell me this is when I found out they died, that thing hit different. And it hits different, for those. Some people, I don't know if anybody else was raised by somebody other than their biological mother, but I was. You can't call me. You can't get online and tell me Jackie died because that's going to hit me different. And I'm going to process that different. Now, I'm not going to get high because I ain't no smoker. However, me and Casamigos going to work this thing out for a second because I got to process this crap. I'm going to cry. I ain't going to get drunk. I ain't going to run the Olympics. But I'm going to have me a moment because that's a lot to process. So me naturally, who get hit different, you can't tell me about my biological mother. I don't care who raised me. You can't, that's my mama. Damn all that.
Right.
And
No,
I
don't think nobody is faulting her for however she's going, however she coped. I don't think.
But it sounds like she wasn't coping because the way everybody said it was she.
I don't think nobody is faulting her. Whatever her coping mechanism is, I don't think nobody's hitting on that. It's all about, for one, we got people just jumping out of here with a lot of false information.
That's true.
Two, we got people that are sitting here that just wanting the rule to change to help one person. Nobody is talking about the young lady that just missed the finals, that daggone got hit with the same thing. Nobody's talking to her. Why? She wasn't a medalist, hopeful. She wasn't a hopeful medalist. The only reason we doing this for her is because she was our only hope of breaking up this damn Jamaican and winning the daggone gold medal.
Yeah.
That is the only reason.
That is the only reason that we're doing it.
If Sha'Carri was a 10-9 girl, nobody would be talking about this.
Exactly.
Whatsoever. But she happens to be what, the third or fourth?
She happens to be that chick. Ain't that what you said? I'm that chick. So that's what you get.
You know, I feel bad for her. I don't feel bad for Sha'Carri. I feel bad for the damn coach that put in all this work, that had this process that he had her in, and he gave her everything that he had, turned her into this absolute monster. Now, not just coach, the team. The whole team, the agent, the coach, the strength and conditioning personnel, everybody. I feel bad for them because guess what? They ain't smoked a daggone thing. And they're affected by
it. So, Coach,
absolutely.
So, Coach, let's stay there for a second, right? So, no, go ahead, though.
When it comes to your profession, you have to take it seriously.
Yes.
Sha'Carri knew that this is her profession. This is your job. Your job is to abide by this contract if you sign one. If you violate it, you have to be accountable for it. For the most part, I think she is accountable because she admitted that she's wrong. I think she's just going to take this as a learning opportunity. If this is something she really wants to do, she will follow those rules. If it's not something that
absolutely. And so let's stay there for a second, right? So what are you guys' thoughts on Black folk potentially boycotting the Olympics because of Sha'Carri's suspension? What are your thoughts on that?
That is the dumbest thing I have heard. So you are not going to support the other
Black people that are in it.
Men and women.
Sorry, guys, it's an iPhone.
That have done. Look here, I said Dale got a flip phone, but look,
it's this iPhone, man.
But look at that. It's the dumbest thing I've heard. So you're telling me because of one young lady's, like Sean said, I'm not going to say it's a mistake.
Choice.
Yeah, because of one young lady's choice, you're not going to support the other hundreds.
Yeah, that's the part I know.
That's American men and women that have given their life to whatever sport it is that they're going to be participating in the games. So you're telling me because of one person's choice, and you're mad about a rule that she broke, not it's a new rule that they put in there. You tell me not going to support these people? Get them lost your daggone mind, and you got to do something wrong with you.
And see, that's where I come in and I say that this thing is different. It doesn't make sense.
You're mad at something, so you just want something to be mad at.
And see, that's the part that don't make sense to me. So you got people that run around here. Have your opinion. I have my opinions. You shouldn't pop that child, but I might go home and knock the fire over mine if she don't act right.
Opinions like buttholes. Everybody got
your opinions.
Hold this thing in here.
But even when you have your opinions, You don't. So right now, you're not going to support other black people that are doing something because you so hell bent on your opinion right now. Feel how you feel, but don't not support. We take opinions and we run with them, and we run too far with them. You can run with your opinion, but the injustice side of it, there was no injustice that was done. I agree. My opinion is let the damn child run, whatever. But again, I'm not a coach. I'm not a mother of a track star. I got my opinions. I feel how I feel. On that same token, there was no injustice
So why do
that was
you feel
done.
she should run?
I mean, because you know what she did wasn't a big deal to me. But that's me though. That's my opinion. Again,
Okay.
I have my opinion because I feel, but see, again, too, it's just like somebody who might say, free my homeboy such and such. No, keep that nigga in jail because he done some stuff. Don't free him.
Lock that
But
nigga up.
Still say it. That might be your opinion, but no, he's not coming out because he broke the law.
But it's like okay, you're not going to support it because of that, but you have.
I don't like that they're not supporting. I think that's stupid.
The young lady that won the 200 ran one of the fastest 200 meters ever. Graduate of Harvard. I think she's graduate from Harvard. I think she's studying like something with neuroscience or something like that. On top of being one of the fastest women in the world, that's why you support, not because it's some damn 21-year-old.
But here's where. So this is why today this conversation took place. If somebody comes home from jail, everybody show up. You're behind, come home, or you go to college, nobody wants to come out except for the ones that's closest to you. We celebrate the wrong shit. We get mad about the wrong things. We out here shouting about who should and free this and free that. But listen to the stuff that we're backing. Listen to the things that we feel right now. Yes, right. That's why we have moms, coaches, and spectators right now, because your insight on different situations will bring different opinions. However, one thing I do agree with everybody on is injustice is injustice. Wrong is wrong. You got to deal with what you got to deal with. And don't not support everybody else because this one person made a choice to do what they've been doing, and bad timing just caught up with them.
I'm telling you, and that's the thing. A lot of people don't realize, like what everybody's out there and they chiming in and dropping their opinion. I never put my opinion about that situation on the internet. You know why? Because my opinion about that situation ain't gonna make nobody life, or job, or situation no better. And all the spectators out there, like Chris said, all the spectators out there that dropping their opinion out there, they making my job and CP job 3 times harder. Because what y'all are doing, you're not affecting the 18 and 19-year-old. You're affecting the 12 or the 13 or the 14-year-old that are coming up and seeing you back somebody that made the wrong choice. And when you ask us, as the person that see your child 8 hours a day, 8 to 10 hours a day, to tell them to make the right choices, but you saying no, she made the wrong choice, but it's okay, she can run. So no, we gotta stop doing that and making it okay. Because I ain't gonna preach, but a sin is a sin, no matter how big or how small. And a choice is a choice, no matter how big or how small. And so we gotta stop doing that. We gotta stop minimizing bad choices all the way around.
Watch them do it for other athletes. Don't just do it when she the Olympics. If a person moves out of the district, then they just can't play for the school that they moved away from.
Exactly.
Don't excuse it and give them a fake address so they can still play. If a person does different things, don't bend it. If we gonna stick with it all the way around, stick with it all the way around. We pick and choose when we want to do different things. Like he said, he don't want to preach. Okay, don't preach. But you can't pick and choose what sin is good and what sin is bad. You can't be like, well, if I do it to the left, but I don't do it to the right, it ain't as bad. Well, I didn't kill him, even though I slept with him. It is what it is. So as coaches, you're going to have to line it up, like y'all said, line it up all the way around. My big thing is, if you let these fools do this other stuff, then why not? Because we let people get away with a whole lot of stuff.
The other that I'm tired of hearing, and I hope, and especially because it's coming from the non-track and field community, is the people out there blaming her team. And when I say her team, I'm talking about the people closest to her, so her agent, her coach, strength conditioning person, physio, all of those kind of people. I think either everybody on this podcast either has a child or coaches or deals with children some shape, way, or form. All of us have been children. We could have been raised perfectly. Our parents could have told us everything right, and we still chose to go left.
Mm-hmm.
So stop saying, "Oh man, the people around her should have did this. The people around her should have did that." I guarantee you, there wasn't nobody in her camp that was rolling blunts for
her. Right. Exactly.
Well, yeah,
exactly.
We don't know.
Exactly.
I'm not gonna mess up my own money.
Yep.
I'm not gonna mess up my money.
Sean, what are your thoughts? Like, do you think that how do you feel about people boycotting the Olympics because of Sha'Carri?
I can't say anything else that anybody else hasn't said. I think that's one thing that we can all universally agree on, like to not support the other 100 incredible Black men and women who are supporting, who are or competing, is a little short-sighted. I think that we can find other ways to uphold Sha'Carri without it being at the expense of other athletes that need our support, that need our hashtags, that need our tweets, and need us to be just as loud and vocal in their support as we were for Sha'Carri. Where we at? I've heard everything. I heard Sha'Carri. Where we at, y'all?
Richardson. Richardson.
Now, Sean. Now I do agree with that. Now, what I like about this is the amount of support and outpour for the young lady. Take away all the she should run, she should not run. Take that away. There's been an enormous amount of support to let her know she's not by herself. Nobody's turned their back on you. We're here to help. One thing that I did see, the LSU track team, they went and got women from teams in the 80s to recent, and they put together a video of just the ladies uplifting her.
Yes, if nothing else,
perfect,
phenomenal.
Yes.
Not one time did they say we believe you should run. Not one time did they say we're with you, Sada. We think you should be punished.
You shouldn't have smoked. Nothing.
You made a choice.
Yes.
You're gonna suffer consequences, but you will bounce back, and we have your back. And I think that's what needs to be the rhetoric, and not people being.
And I have a little bit of an unpopular opinion too. Like, and I don't want to go too left, but in my unpopular opinion, I think that this very well could have been the best thing that could have ever happened for her. If we're gonna have a real conversation to keep it a buck, the amount of interest that people have taken in track for the first time in their lives over the last 2 weeks, just to participate in this discussion, I think it's something that's noteworthy. I think the amount of endorsements, the amount of attention, the amount of support, the amount of empathy, the fact that she's now a household name is something that will absolutely benefit her for the rest of her career and of her life. And more importantly, the amount of humility that she put on for the world stage and said, look, I am accountable. I am responsible. She never blamed anybody else. She never said, let me run. She never made herself the face of her own hashtag. She never asked for the $10 t-shirts that people have made for her. And I think that more than anything else is commendable. She has shown young athletes, look, when you make a mistake, it is your responsibility to hold yourself accountable and to say, look, I accept the consequences of my actions. If nothing else, I can celebrate that. That's what I can support. I can push that narrative moving forward.
And Sean, that's well put. And I think too, even if I was reading correctly, I don't think she even lost any endorsements. Like,
no,
I don't think she lost no money.
Said, we stand with you.
So my
she's
thing
going to get more endorsements.
She good without even
running. Up and get a cannabis line, Sha'Cannabis. I would buy it, but that's just me. I didn't say it originally, but somebody whoever said it was right. I agree. Cut her a check. Cut my sis a check. Look, you can't run like me.
Slogan for it.
Get high like me. You can't fly like me. Get high like me. That's all I'm saying.
I think the key point that everybody pretty much touched on though is that it's not her or the Olympic track team who's causing this uproar. It's us, spectators, people, just ordinary everyday people. We're the ones, like and I was so impressed for her to be 21 years old. She got up there, she took full accountability, and she was like, you know what, I'm gonna own it. It was my mistake. And once the statement she said that I loved is that this Olympics is going to be the last Olympics that the U.S. doesn't win gold in the women's 100. So she's accepted the fact that she's not going to run this time, but she put everybody on notice that, okay, going forward, I'm going to do the right thing. And that's why I think that, hopefully this is a blessing in disguise. I mean, things happen, And it's unfortunate because personally, me being for selfish reasons, I was looking forward to her going head to head with old girl from Jamaica. I really wanted to see that. So when I found out that she wasn't gonna run, my first thought wasn't, oh my God, I can't believe she did this. Oh, how can you be so stupid? I was like, you know what?
That's what everybody's first thought was. Now I'm not gonna have this moment that I wanted to tweet about and I wanted to Facebook about and I wanted to be a part of this conversation. Now I can't do that.
We lost our bragging right. And I think what happened is, like y'all said, everybody had their opinions, and then opinions soared off and made it like, okay, well, now we got this big debate. Listen, I can have my opinions. I don't like Spring Valley. That's my damn opinion. Let me have it. Sorry, Jeremy. But that's my opinion. Jeremy might not like alphas. That's his opinion. But you don't have to take that opinion.
You don't go too damn far now.
You trying to have Hook not invite me back? See, that ain't come from you. That's what the public do for you now. They start putting words in my mouth. Hey, I ain't say that now. Like, listen, hey,
then all of a sudden you got this whole big uproar and everybody arguing, yelling, screaming, fighting. And these uproars of opinions have dragged this whole thing to, like they said, now the girl can't run nothing because everybody got an opinion about something. But it's opinions.
I truly think they would have let her run in the 4x1 if the media didn't make such a big stink about that option. Because as soon as they heard it was an option, it was just like, oh, well, she gonna run the 4x1, and I was like, see, y'all done messed up. If y'all would just shut up. If y'all would have just shut up, if you would have just shut up, and y'all might have got a chance to see her in the 4x1.
But it triggered people's reasonings, triggered a lot of stuff. And I'm gonna go back with you like devil's advocate. Oh well, that's a law. So why you think that we should free your homeboy then? Ain't it a law? Oh, but why you think we should do this? Ain't that a law? So when we gonna pick a law?
Well, people stay saying free Boosie.
Right.
People stay saying free Boosie.
I know.
Free Boosie. Boosie didn't kill about 100 people.
I'm with them. Bring Boosie. Don't take Boosie. You take the rest of them little ones. Keep Boosie out here.
Let me tell you something. That's gonna be.
I'm just gonna set it off every morning going to work. I need Boosie out.
Look, I'm about to get a new T-shirt. If Sha'Carri can't run, Boosie can't rap. OG can't play football. Your homeboy can't run track. We shut it all down.
And we boycotting Crystal for the rest of the night. You
cannot hashtag free my nigga. Nobody. I'm jumping all on it. No, don't free them. They wrong. No, we're not doing.
But I think the biggest thing here, and for me, the biggest takeaway, and one, because I'm raising two 11-year-olds, so I think this is really something that they really need to pay attention to, primarily because how do you weigh the difference between accountability and consequence? Because it's when you do stuff that there are going to be consequences. You know what I mean? So we have to let them know, like, you can't always come to dad or mom and say, well, X, Y, and Z did this to me. When my daughters come to me and they tell me that somebody messed with them in school or did X, Y, and Z, the first thing I ask them is, well, what did you do?
Absolutely.
I don't even focus on what the other kid did. I'm like, I understand that. So when they did that to you, what do you do? So and the lesson I'm teaching here is, what could you have done differently that could have prevented that? Because people are going to do stuff all day long, but my thing is, what are you going to do to make sure that to put yourself in a better position?
I took a different aspect of it. So as a parent, I was like, hey, people going to say stuff like, hey, let her run. Hey, let her graduate. Hey, let her do this. Hey, why don't you stay in this? Why don't you stay with this person? People are always going to have a thing of you should, you can, you won't. But here's the reality of it. You can do something and lose everything, because when you make that choice, it could win or it could fail. It don't mean that what you did was right. It just means when you make that choice, understand, I am saying this shit could cause me to lose my job. I can lose my family. I can lose my career. I can lose my house. It's a choice. So when you make that choice, some of us get away with it. Some of us get caught up and we never forgive ourselves for what happened. But the thing we need to tell, like we did, like he said, the outpouring support, I got your back regardless. It's not that you're not going to be loved. So understand, I'm going to back you whether you're wrong, right, or indifferent. But I'm not going to say every time you do something, it's going to work out your way. Go get a tattoo. Like I tell my child, you can put a hole all over your body if you want to. Well, you don't get no damn job. I'm gonna always
Look,
love
post
you.
that picture on Instagram. It's fine.
But you are not. If it
Yeah, I have
backfires,
to.
you made a choice.
Yeah,
I still got your back. We still gonna
Mhm.
love you. Some people gonna think
Yeah.
you right. Some people gonna think you wrong. But you better
Mhm.
own your shit, just like
Yeah.
she did. And that's something
Just
I
like
teach
she
my
did.
kids, and that's what I do with myself. Own your shit. I did it.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And
Stronger
we
and different.
we still have we got a few minutes left. So before we peel out, I want to hear from you guys individually. Like, what are your your takeaways? Like, what are your lasting thoughts that you want to leave the audience with? Dill, you still with us?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
All
I
right.
don't know for how long though. I'm still here.
All right. So
Well,
we're gonna let you go. We're gonna let you go first. So give us a parting shot. Like, what's
Look at
something
her.
you want to leave the audience with?
well, honestly, if it's your profession, just do what you need to do to continue to have that profession. If the rules are set, you've agreed to the rules, you need to just follow the rules. Simple as that. You may not get another opportunity like Sha'Carri. Sha'Carri's going to get another opportunity to compete, but in life in
That's
general,
true.
that may not happen. That opportunity may not be available for you ever again. For all my track athletes out there, you already know that you can't smoke weed. Just don't do it. That's just it. Say no to drugs.
Absolutely.
Hey.
For sure. All right, Sean, what you got?
Look, Nike didn't drop her, so hashtag just do it. Sha'Cannabis is coming soon, y'all. Don't indulge and drive. Smoke. If your mom, God forbid, something happens to her and you want to cope, like Crystal like to say all night, cope how you gonna cope. I think this is the best thing that could have happened to Sha'Carri. And like I said, Sha'Cannabis is coming soon.
Eh,
She is gonna get a cannabis.
I hope Sha'Carri watching, man. That's cannabis has a ring to it, though. I like that.
All y'all gonna be
Cannabis.
Sha'Carri high. What the rest of them
Yeah,
talking?
Sha'Carri, get your Sha'Carri.
Okay, look, you can't fly like me, get high like me. Go ahead, Jay.
Yep, there you go.
I can't fool with y'all. But,
Hey, you better patent that because she might use it. You know?
hey, but I mean, I think it's good convo to have. I think just kind of understanding the perspectives and understanding kind of as a society kind of where we missed the mark, and it's not so much we didn't miss the mark with her, but just like I said, we missed the mark with ourselves with this whole cancel culture. Everybody want to jump on something. Everybody want to make something. And sometimes it's not necessary. I think with her owning up to it, fessing up to it, owning her mistakes, owning her choices, like we said earlier, I think she did what she needed to do. It wasn't no need for everybody else to jump on. It was like saying it's like admitting you wrong, and then everybody else saying no, you right. And I'm like, no, I
No,
said I'm wrong.
exactly.
So
Exactly.
and at that point, you just let it roll and rock with it, and everybody move on with their life, and everybody should go out and support the Olympics. And actually,
Absolutely.
this should drive people to learn more about the Olympic athletes, and not just the first time you see them is when they get busted for doing something wrong. That's your fault
Yeah.
if that's the only Olympic athlete you know. So
Mm-hmm.
just kind of just keeping that in mind. So hey, I appreciate y'all for letting me come through and spread my thoughts, and y'all have a good evening.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Amen.
sir. All right,
Amen.
CP, what you got?
Hey man, to our community, please do your homework before you come blasting your opinion all over the internet.
Mm-hmm.
You better say that again.
You're entitled to it, but just make sure you do your homework, man, because a lot of other people are not gonna do the homework, and they going off of what you say, and you're giving out false information.
Mm-hmm.
And so just please, whatever it is, not just dealing with Sha'Carri, just anything in life, man, do your homework before you come putting your opinions out here on this on the lowest internet.
On the Lord's internet.
He said on the
Boy,
Lord's
he done made
internet.
it sound like
Yeah.
church. You
The
calling
Lord's
And
heathens
to
and demons on
yeah,
this Lord's internet.
I got to throw him in
Get
there
you in
after
trouble
Lane goes on
every
the
time.
lowest.
You ain't getting no amen like you gave Jeremy. Listen.
People done talk so much now we can't see her do anything in the Olympics. I'm
I
just
know, right?
disappointed.
Right.
This
And to
is
think
and
back to
so
what
That's
She took
real.
accountability. The lady admitted it. She went to a treatment program
and they
because
ran
her
with it.
suspension was supposed to be 3 months anyway.
It
But
was.
they gave her 30 days and people screwed it up for her. Thank you, people. Thank you. We appreciate that.
And it happens. So when me and Jeremy, we had a whole different podcast topic last week. This is no lie. And then Jeremy called me and I was like, I'm gonna pull Hook in. And so then I hit Hook up And he said, okay, we can run with it. I said, let me pick the people. So I picked everybody that I knew had different, and I did it on purpose because one thing about us is we can have an opinion. You can't change how I feel, but facts are facts. And then I also, when Jeremy and I were talking, I went, we had a back and forth where I said, well, then this is this. Well, if we feel this way, this is that. Because as a spectator, I'm going to look at what I look at with what I see it do. But as a reality, coaches have a different opinion. So I grabbed Jeremy and CP since Jeremy was the one that spoke up. Come on back, bro. Then I grabbed CP because I realized that coaches feel different because when you coach, even whether it's step team, whether it's football, whether it's basketball, whether it's track, those are your babies. And so for her team, these are her babies. And so then the mom side of me came in. That's my baby. No, baby, you wrong. And you gonna stay home. But I don't care what the rest of the world say. Nah, you ain't getting nothing that bad. Because that's what people will do. But opinions come from everywhere. So when the facts needed to be said, who better than to tell the facts than another spectator who was like, if you can't fly like me, get high like me. That's the only reason I pulled this photo in. That was hilarious.
Oh, absolutely.
Then a mother who has a child that's actively in track, and how do you feel? Because then people be like, well, what if that was your child? Well, ask her, because it was hers. And then with everyone coming in with a difference, now you're seeing it different because these opinions are getting hella powerful, but there's nothing backing that stuff up. So we get so far in our opinions, and people are like, oh, well, you feel different. They don't agree with you. I knew these Negroes didn't agree with me when I called them. I told them to come on. I didn't ask them. I voluntold them.
Yeah.
They were
Yeah, you kind of did. You kind of
Pretty
did.
much.
That out. Listen.
You calling me while I'm on vacation.
Wasn't given an
and stuff,
option, really.
but you know.
But I did it on purpose
Okay.
because I knew you all would educate the masses with a lot of different insight that was going to come in. One thing I love, and I put it at the end of it when I put the video out that she said was, now you got attention on track. You know how many young Black girls who should run track won't? Because they're like, it's not cool. I bet it's cool now because you can't fly like me, get high like me, right? Right.
That's right.
Now all of a sudden it's cool. So now you can pull them in. Now you can tell these girls you got to take this shit serious because they're watching you.
Yes.
If you get this right here, this is going to happen. Take this time
The
to have these
responsibility.
conversations because we're in a time now. Let's be clear. Everything that we don't want or we hope our kids don't do, the world is telling them, I don't see what the problem is. I don't see what's wrong with you doing that. Screw this, drink that, smoke this, do that. So everything you tell them don't do, it's a million people on the internet telling them, I don't see the problem. So where do you regain control at?
But here's another thing, Crystal, about that. When you say that you got the world telling them that they should do this, this is where the gray area is with marijuana in the Olympics with the USATF. You can smoke it, you just cannot smoke it during competition. Like with Michael Phelps, he got a 90-day suspension because he was smoking on the off season. So that's where they're going to, honestly, this is where people like the Olympians, they're coming in, they're saying, okay, the rule needs to change. It needs to change because they're not saying that you can't ever use it. You just can't use it when it's close to competition. So that's the issue. And that's what I was telling you.
What happens when it becomes an addiction? You can't control when you do it.
Completely. Huh?
It's going to have to be banned completely because what happens when it, I don't smoke, so I don't know. So don't give me that you can't get addicted to weed. I don't know. But what happens when it becomes a habit or an addiction? What happens when it becomes a coping mechanism because you like the relaxing feeling? You can't pick where, like, let me say I can smoke for 3 months, but the other 9, I'm going to chill. You can't, like you say, if you're going to take it, take it all together.
And that's where the outrage comes. That's why people are actually injecting their opinions because that is actually the rule. So it for me, and what I was going to come on here and say is it just needs to be completely banned because it is something that you can become addicted to. And you can't say, oh, if it's something you're addicted to, you just can't quit cold turkey. So that's why people are, that's why the USATF is just basically saying she's not running anything. And so they're going to have to go back to the drawing board and figure this out. They have to do more research to see if it is actually a performance enhancing drug and to see if the reason that she, in her case, took it to mask out the other drugs that she may be using to help her performance. That's just, and that part right there is my opinion. In black and white,
See that, and that
just
turns
during this time.
That's why I harassed you during your vacation because I knew you was gonna come with some stuff. But that's a different beast too.
Absolutely.
Because you put people. What if I tell you that you can drink alcohol during the off season, but you can't on. But alcohol is addictive, and you get addicted to it. I'm gonna
It's
tell you when to stop
exactly.
being drunk.
Well,
I'm gonna
here's
tell
That's
you
the
when
why
to
people,
stop.
like I said,
I guess the
that's why
biggest
so
thing
many
here
people are
though.
having an opinion.
The biggest thing here we got to understand though is like right now the rule is the rule though. So it's kind of like right now it is a banned substance. You know, she broke the rule and she's facing the consequences because
Yeah.
of doing so. The fact is, actions have
Yes.
consequences. Do I think that weed is? I've even always said that even before we started legalizing weed, one of the main things I said was the most dangerous thing about weed is getting caught with it. That's it.
Yeah.
Like I've never seen anybody die from smoking and driving. You know what I'm saying? I've seen them drive from drinking and driving, but still here we are. Alcohol is legal, so it's just one of those things. But you know, 2 points
Yeah.
I want to leave you guys with. Just a couple things is the first thing is, and I'm as probably pro-black as anybody I know, but the thing is, everything is
Most
not
old
because
people
some
are.
yeah, but everything is not because somebody's black though. So Sha'Carri is not in the situation she's in
That is
because she's
true.
black. You know, she's in the situation because she
Yeah.
broke a rule, and you know
She broke
that's
the rule.
first and foremost. And secondly, black people, like real talk, we can agree, we can disagree, and we can also agree to disagree. There's nothing wrong with everybody having like probably we got 6 people on this panel. None of us feel exactly the same, but all at the same time, we are all able to come together, respect each other's opinions, and then take it for what it is, you know. And I think that's something we need more of. And you guys were awesome, man. I really appreciate it. Thank you for being as open, transparent, and like Chris always says, man. Once you hear your family, so don't be surprised if you get that call again saying, "Hey, man, we're gonna need you back for
Or
another,
that
another
message
episode."
when I tell you to be here. Just listen to me, okay?
Yeah,
Because
she's
it's
gonna
a
volunteer
reason.
you. She's gonna
I'm gonna
volunteer you.
volunteer you.
Exactly. Exactly.
Right. You
So
know.
next week, guys, next week we had to switch gears a little bit. Next week we're doing, and we really just decided this 5 minutes ago. We're doing love
Right.
languages. All right. So we know the 5 love languages, right? And I think that that's something that people miss in terms of relationships and communicating. People have people love everybody the same. But the thing is, everybody needs to be loved differently. They need to be communicated to
I
differently.
don't think
So
we love everybody the same.
Well,
I'm gonna tell you
on that
something.
note, I don't believe in love, so
Oh
you
shit.
know I will not be partaking. I'm just teasing.
hell.
Well, I don't believe that everybody loves everybody the same. I'm a firm believer, and I will always say this: if I ever get a chance to write a book, I will promise to God it'll be my first part of it. Everybody loves people the way they want to be loved, and this is where you're wrong. You can't love CP the way you want to be loved because CP ain't you, and that means I may want flowers and candy and lions and tigers and bears. And CP might want a Corona boxing shorts, but I'm out there giving him lions and tigers and bears and flowers and candy. And he's
Amen.
like, I don't want it. I'm like, you inappreciative son of a. But that's not how he
Hey.
wants to be loved.
Hey.
And we're not listening.
Hey, that's next week, but
I know
I'll
Chris
leave you,
about to get into it.
but I'll leave
We
you
do
with
this
this.
all the
Regular,
time.
hey, we're
I
giving you
know
a
niggas
preview
that
of what's to
love
come.
every woman they with, every woman they done been with the same way. So, you know, it is what it is. But we gonna talk about that next week though.
Well,
Because we'll be here going another hour. So, but again, I
We
appreciate
will.
but I appreciate you guys. Thank y'all for joining. You
So
guys
much.
were great. For the audience, make sure you guys share. Make sure you react. Make sure you subscribe to the material. And again, we'll see you again next week. Holla.
Nice.
awesome. Have a great evening.
Go ahead and stay on because all he gonna
Another
fucking
night
do-
with Amber.com.
Oh God, here he is.